Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. It's Edward back at you with yet another stream. How's everyone's day been? It is lovely and wet here in the southeast. And as always, the sporting world doesn't stop. I mean, we'll talk I'm sure we'll dive into all of that over some Arc Raiders, but I was just doing a couple of talking points to start. And naturally, one of the biggest talking points in UK sport, especially, or one that got the most headlines, was this by United co-owner Jim Radcliffe. And I'm going to stay very clear from the political side, because that bores me to high heaven, and I stay clear from, because society's already divided enough. Doesn't need some poor schmuck like me to further add fuel to that in my own way, and it just, as I said, just bores me to high heaven. The thing that just crosses my mind when this kind of comments come out is everyone's obviously entitled to their own opinion, but the lack of poise, professionalism, emotional intelligence, and all that kind of stuff just comes across as lacking whenever I see comments like this. And when you're the owner or a co-owner, obviously not the complete owner, of a particular club, it just comes across as insensitive, and you don't want those kinds of traits that I described from your ultimate leader. And just the lack of thought that goes into it, because naturally these comments sort of appear to be derived from sort of impulse and emotion. You don't want emotion to guide your thought in a reckless way. You'd rather it be focused and well thought through, and that even makes it even more alarming when it comes from an owner of a sporting institution, one that has such a wide range, a wide net and impact that Man United does. I mean, it's baffling. I mean, it's because he's hardly covered himself in grace from a Man United front. If you focus this on Man United, and staying well away from the political side, as I just said, he hasn't covered himself in glory with the changes he's had to do. Now, of course, you could say that were semi-forced into those changes by what he inherited from the Glazers, and that's a separate talking point. And then with the sort of the Amorim sacking and all those kinds of, with it peaking at the Amorim sacking rather, and you're starting to get a bit of belief. Obviously, he'll get asked to do interviews like that all the time, but the lack of awareness that every possible negative article about Man United, the media going to clock to, and when you've had the very recent uptick in form that they've had under Michael Carrick, why on earth would you let your emotional thoughts potentially not quite jeopardize it, but potentially affect it or rock the ship in some way, when all you needed to do was just say nothing? I mean, it's there's so many things that just cross my mind when it comes to when I saw this. It's like, for Christ's sake, why would you say something as insensitive as this, irrespective of the foundational legitimacy that there may or may not be? The points, or point being sort of the points he may point to, But when you're the owner of a sporting institution, you're trying to turn it around. Adding inadvertent weight to the ship when it's already a fragile ship is just, I don't completely understand it, to be truthful. It doesn't completely make sense to me. I mean, when it comes to leadership of football clubs, and that's that transitioned over to my next tab, and that's obviously the reports, or not the reports, everything that's coming out of the back of the Ange Postecoglou podcast you do with Gary Neville, and I'm sure he couldn't quite believe his luck when obviously Thomas Frank got sacked, but when you'd watch it, and I'd encourage you to do, and while of course many will point to sort of the Thomas Frank side if he never got the players on board and etc., and you clearly didn't. You clearly got the wrong wavelength of the room and never recalibrated off the back of it. And you have that part of everything that Thomas Frank got wrong. But there's very little that will sway me into the respect of he's not as bad of a manager as this Spurs reign implies that he is, if that makes sense. He's not as bad as what we've seen at Spurs. And when you consider that in terms of the impact, well, what the Spurs situation resulted in Thomas Frank, who's I think a very good manager, and you hear all these kinds of things, it then further illustrates the fact that that particular castle that the manager is expected to build is been built on a swamp, and it further speaks to the lack of alignment in the values in the football club. For instance, if you look at in terms of the values of how it wants the team to play, it's simple as that, rather than bigger picture of a business, how the football team wants to play. When you consider the big change in style and philosophy from a Ange Postecoglou to a Thomas Frank, their styles are incredibly different. Now, what would have been more reassuring is if they're gone, right, okay, we wanted to play front foot football like Ange did, but that was excessive, so we want to rein it back a step. But we still want to play front foot and all that kind of stuff, so we'll go for Iraola, let's say. He's more sort of front foot aggressive and all that, not aggressive, sort of front foot attacking, etc., etc. Where the North Star is, we always want to play attacking front foot football. The fact that they made such an existential shift from manager, and you hear stuff like this of their actions not backing their words, it's just the club is completely out of alignment, and doesn't know what it stands for, and doesn't back whatever it thinks it stands for up. And irrespective of manager, you task with building a castle on its foundations, that's only going to make the ground a swamp rather than a picturesque hill over your land. I mean, it's yeah, you're doomed from the start, really, if you don't have that. If you don't have a ultimate vision of where you want to go to, you firmly believe it, and it intertwines into every single action that you make. It's quite simple, really. I mean, if you look on the sort of I think Bournemouth are a good example in terms of, on a smaller scale, I'll quickly point that out. When Bill Foley came in and bought the club, naturally wanted to play a certain style of football, started recruiting players that suited that, and then found a manager that wanted to play that style. and recruit players based on that style. Now you do that proactively and always looking towards that, and you don't micromanage the manager and all those kinds of things, you will start to see fruit relative to what's success for that particular football club. And you can tell that everything is aligned at Bournemouth. Just seeing Ryan get 2 goals and 1 assist in 3 appearances further speaks to that. And Tottenham are the complete opposite. And the Thomas Frank the Thomas Frank sacking, and these comments at Spurs just further illustrate that. They really do. And natural thing, I'm not just a European sports fan, is I am an NFL fan as well. And naturally, as the Super Bowl is now in the rearview mirror, attention turns to free agency. And naturally, you go down here, and this is very much pie in the sky type activity. And just going through whether I agreed or disagreed. And on the sort of the George Pickens front, if I was the Cowboys, I think the franchise tag is an incredibly sensible option to go through, because irrespective of what you saw in his first year in Dallas, I would still have questions about. I would still have orange flags, I think the best way to put it is, about his sort of personality, and you want to be doubly sure about whether it's in your best interest to pay him, in case it quickly devolves once he signs on the dotted line, in a similar respect of how it went with Brandon Ayuk and the 49ers. Now, going into what happened with the 49ers and Brandon Ayuk, George Pickens has more personality orange flags that you'd want to make sure before committing to anything, and then giving a bigger sample size before agreeing to anything. And worst comes to worst, you potentially, even if he does do well on the franchise tag, let's just pan it forward. Trading him for something, getting some of the assets back that you gave up, which wasn't an awful lot, I don't think, if my memory is right. Get something back at the very least. Daniel Jones, even though people will quickly draw the correlation into Daniel Jones's start to his career and the career resurgence we saw with Sam Darnold, I would still be reluctant to, if I was the Colts, to give Daniel Jones a deal. Obviously, the Achilles injury, but medicine is a lot more advanced than it has been in decades past. But if you're giving the contract based on his play in the first half of the season before his injury, I would just be concerned with the strength of the schedule of the teams they beat, overinflating how good of a quarterback he is. And further to that, when you then take a bigger picture and go forward a year, I'd encourage you, and we'll do it now actually, you go to the free agent class for Indianapolis in a year's time. It's actually quite considerable. So you go 2027. This is on over the cap. You got Michael Pittman, who they just gave an extension to, DeForest Buckner, Quentin Nelson, and Jonathan Taylor. Now, those cap APYs, if you're keeping them, they're going to be north than that. Jonathan Taylor, obviously, you could say is a running back, so you can scratch him off. But Quentin Nelson, DeForest Buckner, even though he's 33, you You could potentially make the age argument, but still, it's still cap hit you need to account for. And not in this is, do they re-sign Braden Smith? He's a right tackle, and you always want to keep your best O-lineman. Kwity Paye, who's a nice player. Essentially, some of that has to give. And when you consider what I just spoke about Daniel Jones, I'd be concerned. It'd be a thing that would cross my mind. And that's not even mentioning Alec Pierce. I mean, the Colts have a lot of things to juggle in terms of cap-wise. You always have to pan forward a year. And I would try not and let wishful thinking take over and think that he'll end up turning like a Sam Darnold and resurrect his career when you consider the opponents he beat that sort of semi-rebuilt half of his reputation. And you then go back to it, Devin Lloyd. If I was the Jags, I would let him walk because same type principle. They've got a class of players that were so it's 2025 was the last draft. So the 2023 class, like a Parker Washington, Anton Harrison, Brenton Strange, they're all coming for extensions. And it's, while I'm always an advocate of proactively paying them early, which means this summer now, their contracts would kick in at that particular, in a sort of a year's time, really. Obviously, you could backload them, but still. I'd be inclined to letting him walk because you'd say he's the top off-the-ball linebacker in on the free agent market. And if you can structure your free agent signings in a particular way, you can do what a team like the Ravens or the Eagles have done and leverage compensatory picks. And that's the way that you keep your cap situation in a healthy situation, is you begrudgingly let players like Devin go, and it's great to see him in a similar vein, not quite resurrect, but uplift his career. So you can keep your cap healthy whilst proactively paying draft classes as early as you can and spreading that cap hit around and all of that jazz. And on the Ravens, I'm going to quickly pivot. Free agency. Let's go home. And it was something I was thinking about in the car on the way home from work. Cap space. Close. And sort of, because the natural trail of thought is you obviously have invest in your O-line, and the correlation between the Giants and the Ravens is obviously straightforward. It's not rocket science to draw the two, and the help that he would provide, and I'm not begrudging him of that. But I can't help thinking that when you consider the Giants are, whatever position that is, lower half, obviously they can restructure contracts and the effective cap space can go up, but I could see if you're sort of tying various things together, like sort of not quite desperation, but you think of the Chargers and how good, when you see the cap space they have, a Linderbaum, what Herbert potentially could be like behind a Tyler Linderbaum, and obviously you've got Joe Alt. I think they've got Zion Johnson as a free agent as well. I can see them making a strong push. The Jets, obviously. Commanders, Jaden Daniels. I think that would be incredibly sensible. The Bengals, it would be incredibly sensible, but this is the Bengals, so we'll move on. Or even the Titans. I mean, I know they got Lloyd Cushenberry, I think. NFL depth charts, there we go. See, this is an efficient production, everyone. So you've got depth chart. J.C. Latham, Lloyd Cushenberry. Is Lloyd Cushenberry, is he always been a centre? Not Lloyd from X Factor. Cushenberry. I swear he was a guard that moved in. And let's see if it says. He started centre his rookie year. Not really particularly what I wanted to see. Is he releasable? Let's go in. Lloyd. He sort of is, but he sort of isn't. I mean, I don't know how well he did this year. No. Bad. But anyway, yeah, it's a... I could easily see the Chargers making a run at him in terms of putting it... That's one hell of an O-line, though. You've got the makings of what? One hell of an O-line, irrespective if they let Zion Johnson walk. You've got Joe Alt at left, Rashawn Slater at right, if memory serves. Then him in the middle. I'd take that every day of the week. Mekhi Becton as well. He's not too shabby, Alonzo. You can sort of scratch him off, but I can see the Chargers being at play. To be honest, playing. I can see the Chargers being at play for him. And the Raiders, I mean, they've got sort of a pickle in the interior, haven't they? Because they obviously drafted the central lineman Jackson Powers, and then he hasn't particularly hit the ground running, has he? And there's someone else that was sort of taking his place, and so you wouldn't really want to bring him in. Well, that'd be a healthy. You wouldn't say a healthy front office would do, but this is the Raiders we're talking about under a Tom Brady ownership, and need I say more? I mean, it's starting out as if it's sort of a Tom Brady ownership era, even though he's a minority owner, is coming across as a Michael Jordan of the NFL. We all know how the Charlotte Hornets have been, irrespective of... Well, they're doing really well, Charlotte. Let's just quick check. And I'll load up Charlotte. Hornets. But, yeah. And let's move on. Let's quickly... 6F74. Retry. So that expired. 2 for PKX. Nice. That can go. Waiting for the network. I've got internet, so that'd be great. Thank you very much. Let's load up Arc. But yeah, it's when is free agency to the point? NFL free agency. When does it start? Normally it's in like the second weekend of there we go, March. So that'll be the reports from the 9th. When is the 9th? 1, 2. Oh, we got three odd weeks of this. Oh joy! Hopefully it doesn't drag like most things do, but here we are. Well, is it ready? Here we go. And I shall now update this from a just chat into a... What's this game called? Arc Raiders. 1 second. So now it's remind myself what on earth I was doing, to put it bluntly. There's I remember that one of these was the focus. I think it was a sentence. This is the one. Crafting, weapon upgrades. Yeah, it's fine. It was that, so I can get the renegade. That was it. Sentinel firing core. That was it. Was there any of the others? Are they even remotely close? That's fine. Bombardier. Mechanical. Level up. That's max level. Utility station. Snitcher scanner. So it was Sentinel firing core was the goal. Right. What is my loot looking like? Not terrible, but not great. What do I do? Let's repair that. So starters. Some of that, some of that. Let's then need 20 bullets. Just had a quick cheeky gander. Then we'll go escape tab. Nope, escape workshop. Here. Here. Nice. Right, so my... Oh, I did that probe one the other day and I died instantly. But is that the... They say damn Battlegrounds is the best one for Sentinel firing cores, but I'm not entirely convinced. Let's try it. The internet's never wrong and never lies. What are you talking about? So mechanical was one of the ones for motor. So I need to get over there fast for Sentinel firing cores. If anyone has any suggestions as to I'll wait for the... If I'm missing anything, then I would greatly be... I'd appreciate it greatly. You could speak up and Fred hold their peace, as it were. And doobie doo. Gonna run through here. Itchy nose. You just spotted me. Right, I need to get inside. Right. So I have cover, and that's a nice thing. I have the El Corridor. Come on. I thought I had the El Corridor. We can kind of play with them a Let's use one of these, probably. Come on, pop it. I can hear you. Shoot. The other one just died. There's another one, but I don't know where it went. Well, it did go up. Loot this. I've got a bit of cover to my sides. That's all good. Two of them. Nice. Hornet driver. Simple gun parts. Oh, this is the other one. Did it inadvertently die and I didn't hear it? That's good. 1, 2. Wasp driver. Got my eye on that thing up there. Just quick loot check. That's fine. Where is my plan of where to go? I have a feeling he's going to be on my arse in a second, so I'm going to do that and just leg it. Hopefully this cover to my left is it's enough. He seems a bit far away. There's the harvester on the left as well. Who's me? Oh, good. So I've lost that one. Now, what to do? Okay, you're down there. Trying to think. I remember last time. Oh no. I did slightly panic there. I'm not going to lie. You can get up there. Is this a zip line? Or is this? It's not a zip line because. Right. So I need a way of getting down. That to me speaks to go inside. Or potentially go along. That could also be a good right. What does this will do? It's when this particular point makes me doubt the sort of the internet in terms of it's saying that this is the densest map. I mean, does anyone else have that? I mean, it's doesn't quite. Something doesn't quite compute in that respect. I always found Blue Gate was good for Sentinels, but You're there. I'm just going to go along a bit. Seems to me the best option. So I can already see there's been action down the end. There's action over there. That was one of those ones where you didn't quite have my gun out and I paid the price for it. Too busy wanting to run. And now I'm a bit low on the... So I could... Let's just wait for... Bandages. Right, so I want to do that crafting. That. I need fabric now. Let's breach this. Yeah, you're all good. Is this mechanical? No, it's some about there. I am in mechanical, so this would be potentially good if I want to find some motors. That's rubber. I need fabric so I can craft on the go my own. That could potentially be some if I can salvage a fabric, craft, Kushti, that, Q, that, and craft something out of that. So now I could do the... Is there another side? No. Trying to... Hello!
Hey, man.
God, your voice is lovely. Hey, man.
Let's go, man. Let's go to the harvester.
You haven't seen any sentinels around, have you? His voice is incredible. Woo! Just in time. Wow. It's one of those situations where you don't particularly want the load in your face. Right. I'm going to go join him if I can get down there quick enough. Because memory serves, I got a sentinel from one of those thingy-mabobbers. And I'm not going to jump down. I hope that guy's still... Oh, did he get it? That is slightly annoying, because I was hoping I could loot scrounge. Hopefully, and this is a outside hope, he, there are bits left. Sentinel firing core. Ah, that was starting to look so good. I'm going to go down and grab... Let's see if I can grab it. No. Don't knock anything. Hello. Ooh. Thank you, good sir. Or thank you, whoever you are. Right, they are over there. Is there anything? I know there's something. I'm just gonna. This is the come inside and regather my thoughts type. I don't really know what to do. I'm not gonna lie. Would there be anything around there or no? What was that? Right, so 2 of them. I could potentially... Pedro's going to be over that, but the question... I've got a crock of you-know-what gun. Let's go join this geezer. Seems more achievable. I don't see much point in going with this sort of a Grey Ferraro. Or Ferrero Rocher. Excuse me. Never give me its full title. Another reason why I don't like it, there's not really much cover. Bonjour. Bonjour.
Hey, man.
Konnichiwa. Let's get a bit... So I suppose, let's think about it logically. Let's reverse engineer what on earth I'm trying to do. Potentially... No, that's a perfect example of what I particularly want to try and stay away from if I can. My goal, or I want my ultimate aim to be Sentinel firing cores. Let's help this geezer out. We got it. That's the... I presume the sound of success... Let's just go and have a cheeky gander. A distance gander. Hearing a lot of... It doesn't look very damaged and moving incredibly freely, which makes me think it's got a lot of health left. And based on the fact that my ultimate goal is find Sentinel firing cores, my gut is telling me to evac, as that guy's trying to do. So now I'm going to go... So I have time to regenerate. Now let's go. That, snitch. Yeah, I'm just grabbing this and I'll evac as well. One sec, mate. You don't mind? 1, 2, 3, 4. Go, go, go. Cheers, bud. There we go. Wasn't great, but we got one of them. It's pink. Got that for the Raider Shuffle. Skill point. Lovely stuff. Ooh. Ooh, a piece of candy. Right. So let's claim that. While I'm doing this, I'm reading on my other screen something about emotional bandwidth. Because as I'm sort of starting this streaming journey, and I've been streaming for a couple of weeks now, I'm a naturally introverted person, which is always a good combination when you've got streaming, which is sort of more sort of outgoing, performance based. It's taken a bit of adjustment, as you can imagine, and it's been tricky. So it's I swear I got a skill point just then, or am I just right? So that's the one I just did. That's the one I want to do, but I'm other arcs drop sentinel firing cause. What's an arc courier? I've never heard of this. Has anyone heard of this? I haven't heard of it. No, not that one. That's my arc couriers. What are they? Oh, those things. Oh. I see. No. That was damn. Should I just try Space Fort for the... I call this shits and giggles? Tempted to try Blue Gate. Not sure. I'm really not sure. My gut is telling me this one. I would say is anyone else's gut saying them anything, but no one's probably here, so it's kind of pointless. Well, pointless for now. Be optimistic. Right. Just want to put you there. Let's escape. Escape. Work. Going to the workshop. 20. That. Okay, so we got that. All good. Bandages. That's. Okay, so let's put you up there. Play Blue Gate. I can never seem to find Arc Sentinels. Oh, okay, fine. It's still saying dam is better. Right, okay. Let me try Buried City. This would be hilarious if it was in a drawer, but it's not going to be. Let's get that in case I want to carry... Carry? Craft a, thing. Is there something I can look around here? No. So we've got two of them over there, but they're going from left to right. Don't turn around, please. Oh, so I shall go this way. That's going to be more robots, presumably. I'm well aware. Nope, thank you. May have been a slight mistake. So I need to get to there. So in reality, I'm going to need to go under. What was that? Ah, it's just a standard robot. Bye bye. I don't particularly want to move. Could go back. Is it above? Oh, you're there. So now we play the game of hide on the buses. Or the game of run around and hide, and it for some reason just drops to the ground on the first attempt. So that's larking over there, I believe. I do not particularly want to move. Oh dear, oh dear, dear. You got. Can I inadvertently use that as a semi-diversion? Would that be an idea? Right, I saw you, so now I can prepare for you. Come on, Poppet, I can... Thank you for standing still, that was much appreciated. Is this motor? Technology and security. And I believe that's up there. I doubt it's down here, but you never know. Hello, wherever. Oh, hello.
We are killing the Bastille.
Yeah.
We are grazing from.
Cool. If only I could see. Oh, there's a hole! What I come across as the bait in this situation? Nice. Sentinel. Come on, Sentinel. Manifest it, everyone. Bastion. Just need one pissing Sentinel and let the guys have their loot. Oh, this is so annoying. Sentinel. Sentinel. It's art pissing motion damn cause. Oh, you've been there. Rubber. You always need rubber. I'm going to search you. More rubber. I'm not looking for a party here.
Have you found any arc resin, my nigga?
No, I've found a bastion. Would you like that?
No, I don't need parts myself.
Oh, flex rubber, was it? Sorry?
No, arc resin.
No.
Okay, thank you, nigga, bye.
Ooh, that looks promising. What is that? I've never seen that before. Arc resin. Never heard of arc resin. Arc resin. I'm not fussed. You can follow me if you want. We go up. Let's see where this takes me. Knowing my luck. No. Where am I? That'd be a good start. Medical. So I need to go. Hello.
Hello.
Oh, you again.
Yeah, it's me again. Watch out for the Rocketeer. He's back, I think.
Okay. Forgot where my slide is. That's why I'm jumping down as from bunny hopping in Fortnite. Christ. Oh, hello. Right. Let's get rid of you two chestnuts. You can come down to me. Not particular. I'm safe. Where's... So another one's gonna come over. He did not come over. Wow. So I've got a thing over there. It sounds like a party that I can definitely get behind. They say this area is meant to be red for the most dangerous, which it is. But the not necessarily the most. The danger to loot ratio, I don't think's quite up to it around here. I'm not going to lie. Look at me, so just rotate out. It's the thing I just. It's giving off the vibes of what's that? Air freshener. It does smell on the bus. What are you? Oh, it's great emollient. I need that for those bandages. Let's go grab this probe. So that shouldn't be. Shh. Hurry up! No. No. Reload. Let's play merry-go-round. Ow! Excuse me. That. Let's use that. So I have people descending around me, but I have just about enough. Got loads of bullets, so I can afford to be a bit. That's gonna clean. Thank you. At least it starts where you finished. Sentinel firing core. He's gonna have. I needed that. Rubber. Let's give us that, which is interesting. So we got one over there. Where'd you go away? Am I missing something here? No. I reckon evac and just try Buried City. I am. Thank you. I thought that would be more beneficial, so I'm going to try a different tack. So I don't believe Blue Gate is a great option for me. So I need to use up my cred, whatever it's called. I knew I got something. It's this one I wanted to focus on. Then we go to Scrappy. Oh, excuse me. Okay, what am I doing? Right, let's get more bullets. I also remember the thing I learnt from that was the clay explosive that guy used in the fight against the bombardier, which was intriguing to say the least. Right, I've got you two, so I might as well make two of you. So I've got enough rubber to sink a battleship. So I'm all happy on that front. Let's repair. That'll do. Okay. Let's do some loot tidying. Already learned, so let's just sell it. Nice. We do a bit of loot cleaning. 260, remember that. 259. Great money. Don't need them anymore, I don't think. To arc alloy. Let's recycle. 260, so I gained a place, that's good. Sell those two. 258. I'm gonna use moss. Bit overrated, isn't it? Mini centrifuge. What can I recycle you into? Mechanical. Let's do that. 254. Can I get to 250? Like gun parts used to craft. Used to craft. Aren't used to craft, so I can then sell to them. 254. Heavy gun parts. Explosive materials. Thermo lancing. Recycle. Right, okay, so that's a good recycle. Yes. Perfect. What can you get recycled into? Just them, but a lot of it. Arc coolant. 252. Rubber. Let's sell them. 252. Surge shield. I've got my rod. We're good. Always important to have your rod on you at all times. Metal part. Slay. Right. That'll do. No one came to watch a man sift through loot. But let's just quickly go to the explosive station because that can stick to surface. So that is what the guy threw at the thing. Because he managed to do that. And it didn't seem to trigger the Bombardier very quickly. So... Oh, good, the matriarch. Right, so art machines to go down on their own. Something has caused art machines to go down on their own in great amounts, leaving husks on their own in greater amounts, leaving husks scattered on the top side. A better opportunity to gather information and parts readily presented itself. Whatever that means, we're giving it a go. I've literally no idea where I'm going for this. Medieval, residential, old world, commercial, medical. Let's try over there. I have one long pilgrimage. Happy Chinese New Year! Can I do anything on this? Anything? Jump down. Nothing is. Hello. Friendly. Hello. Bonjour. Bonjour. Baguette. Right. Are you coming down to my level? You are. Boom. Nice. Show him who's boss. Go on. Right. What am I doing? I'll leave Maria Sharapova to oh my giddy eye, I just realised something. I'm not even capturing games. That's been good. That's good. So people have just been watching me talk in silence. Great news for the parish. So now this is Sentinel firing core territory. my hope is that... Hello? It's me. I'm in California dreaming of... Shit on my doodle. Right, so now I want to run. Live and let live, come on. He's not shooting at me, so I can... Right, I'm going to go inside. Woo! Right. Damn you, you moved. 3 of the buggers! Right, so I'm going to go in here and attempt to lose them. Right, so I need to go this way. Thank you. Ooh. My gut instinct, everything would have been looted within an inch of its life. Based on how there's so much here, there's clearly some bits. It's clearly not been looted well. But, it's always the same pissing things. It's not really, I'm very aware I'm not going to get Sentinel firing cores looking for this, so let's move on. I got 3 bastions, so can't really complain. I don't particularly know what to do on the Sentinel front, just because it's so I need to go over there anyway. So to this one. Yeah, going back to the free agency, the NFL free agency chat. Obviously, it's easy to picture why the NFL media is linked. Ow. Linderbaum and yeah, it's easy to see why you talk about this free agent chat. It's easy to see why they linked Linderbaum to the Giants, but when you consider how much cap space they have and the fact they've got their franchise QB and Justin Herbert, can very picture the Chargers being incredibly aggressive, then turning into a decision between which hardball they go with. Didn't even think of that until now. Yeah, I think because I mean, you put it about it in that way, you've got it's easier to see. Yeah, just to think about it. I mean, it's why was that guy after arc resin for? Nice. Oh yeah, cred. Going back to the NFL free agency chat, I can very easily picture, well, when people talk about Linderbaum and free agency, obviously the natural association was with him is with John Harbaugh and the Giants for obvious reasons. But I can very easily picture with how much cap space they have, the fact that they already have an undisputed franchise QB in their midst and more pieces on their O-line. The Chargers being just as much of a player for him and that actually being a more attractive prospect. Because you compare the two. You're thinking of the O-line room that he'd be going into. You've got a Joe Alt and a Rashawn Slater versus whatever the Giants have. And that's a tip in the Chargers' cap. A similar head coach with similar sort of similar level and sort of reputation. QB, the Chargers favour again. Similar level of weapons on the outside. Naturally, you say the Giants have more on the defense, but and still a ridiculous tax bracket payment-wise. I mean, the Chargers come across as a more attractive prospect when you put it like that. So yeah, it's to summarise, you can understand why the NFL media is connecting Linderbaum to the Giants, but the Chargers are just as much of an attractive prospect as the Giants are. If you think of the pieces they already have on the O-line, especially their tackles, and the fact that the centre is already a valuable position, they already have the cap space without playing cap gymnastics, and you'd rather block for a Justin Herbert versus a Jackson Dart any day of the week. So the Chargers are a more attractive a prospect in my mind. And you're not, and also you're not losing out tax wise. It's not like New York versus Florida or Vegas. Both are 40% anyway, so you're not really losing out in tax or on the money front as well. Is that one? Or that one? Clip that. Cred. Let me think. Is it traders? No, it's this one. What trader? Does one of them deal with cred?
You know where everything is by now. Makes this a lot easier.
Ooh, I can get a guitar. Muy interesante. Right. I could actually be...
could track what the lot of you are up to.
God, you miserable, you know what? I don't...
Help you.
You needs to get out more. Where would you put that? I mean, as much as it would be absolutely hilarious to get an acoustic guitar, that would get taken off you in a heartbeat. So, I reckon like one of them. So I could potentially get one of them under some to cover the fact of skins. I'm not really a skin person. I really couldn't care less about skins. Spend 200 cred to unlock that. Right. So essentially use that up. 40, 80, 110, 140. So it's that. Golly competition. That's already done. I don't need skins, so I'm going to go for whoever that grumpy, you know what is. It's Shawnee, isn't it?
Can I help you?
Purchase that. That can send to stash right away. Let's get ready for next time because I'm about to log off. But I mean, yeah, you go back to one of the other talking points I talked about earlier on at the beginning of the stream. And as much as people will point to, and rightly so, or not really point at Thomas Frank being one of the main issues. And when you don't get your players on side on the first meeting, of course you're going to be. But when you consider, when you then add on Postakog and his comments he gave in the overlap, and it's a good watch. It's understandable why any manager sort of got the cards more stacked against him than any other manager when their actions don't back their words, and whatever values they claim to have aren't what they actually do. And when you have that kind of foundation to build a castle from, it's only going to end up in the swamp rather than on the picturesque hill looking over your land. And until they solve that, then it's sort of, they're always going to be, well, Spurs. Right. And on that note, I'm going to bid you farewell. I'm going to have a log off for the night. I'll be live at lunchtime on Saturday. Come along, and I will see you then. Have a good evening, afternoon, or morning, wherever you